Hey, it's Blackwood Molly, and I'm here today to show you how to depot your lipsticks. This makes it easier for you to put them in your makeup artist kit if you have such, and it can also make it easier for you to store them as well for your personal use. Now, what you're going to need is makeup wipes. You're going to need paper towels. You're going to need a candle. The one I'm using is my diamond candle that I got. I will be doing a review on these as we ordered two. I love them. You will need tape, a large spoon that is fire resistant. You're going to need a makeup artist spatula. You're going to need jars, and I would recommend the 10-gram jars. And you're going to need the lipstick that you're planning on depotting. Alright, so here is a bird's eye view of what I'm doing. So what I have here is the jar. We're going to set this aside. I am going to take my lipstick here, and this is NYX, and I believe the color is called Dahlia. As you can see, it is this very lovely kind of a burgundy purple shade, but it's one of my favorites. I'm going to take a spoon, which I have already cleaned. Also, you need to pre-sterilize your jars. I have already done this. You're going to hold the lipstick over the spoon as such. You're going to take your spatula, and if it has a smaller side, I would recommend using that. You're going to cut this off, cut the lipstick off, onto the spoon. Now there is quite a bit of product left in here, so what I would recommend is that you take the spatula here and you get really deep into this here. And you're going to spin this around, and you're going to get a ton of product. Set aside the lipstick tube, you're not going to need that anymore. And you're going to hopefully not do what I just did and lose the bullet, but put that back on the spoon there, and then wipe off the spatula. Now, after all of that, what we're going to do is take the spoon, which has our lipstick in it, and put it above the candle. And at this time, you're going to get your jar ready. Now, do not get your spoon down here on top, because then that will make the lipstick far too hot. And the last thing you want is to boil your lipstick. And you're going to keep this in motion for about as long as it takes to melt the lipstick. As you can see here, it is melting nicely. I am moving the spoon, I am not moving the camera. But we're going to continue doing this until such a time as the lipstick is melted. As you can clearly see, I am not touching the lipstick to the flame at all. This will be a very bad idea. The last thing you want is boiled lipstick. The pigment will be off and possibly even black. And nobody, especially at a wedding, wants black lipstick, unless you're a goth. Also, you need to make sure that none of the lipstick drips down into the bottom of the spoon, so like underneath here, because then it will drip into your candle. And I must say, this candle smells amazing. It's vanilla. Oh my god, it smells so good. Make sure that most of the lipstick is melted. As you saw, I just touched the top of the bottom of the spoon to the top of the candle. This is okay if you do that, but just keep it up as much as you possibly can. Here you go is the melted product. We must move quickly to get it into the jar. And there it is, dripping into the jar. Now on the bottom here you can see that some of it was black. That was probably when I touched the top of the candle. So what I would recommend is you take a makeup wipe and be very careful, this is very, very hot, is that you immediately remove it. And as you can see, it was blackened. So it's probably a good thing that it didn't get into there. And now the spoon is all cleaned. Make sure to also clean the back of your spoon. As you can see here, I have some product on the back of the spoon. You also need to clean your spatula before you continue cutting other lipsticks. Simply wipe it off like this and make sure to get the sides. And now it's clean and ready for use. On the bottom of the jar, I have put a label of the color in question, which is Thalia by NYX. I also have some that I have already done. You can get up to 2 lip gram jar, and I have instances of such here. I've put 2 of the NYX color Lala in this one. Sorry about the window. And as you can see, it is very full. It filled up the entire jar. And again, that was NYX's Lala. This was the first lipstick I did. As you can see, it is not very neat. This is what you should expect your first lipstick to look like. It is very, very messy. Here is the color that we just did. As you can see, it is not the neatest, and some of the sparkle settled to the bottom. So this is not going to be a very neat, lovely lipstick, but it will serve its purpose. Don't forget to order lids when you order your jars. Many of you asking, what is the tape for? Well, when you're taking your labels, you need the tape to affix the labels to the bottom of the jar as such. You can place these on a windowsill to cool, and you don't need to wait to put the lids on. Now, I have noticed today while I have been depotting the lipsticks that some of these have more product in them than others do. Also, I have noticed that some have a higher melting point than other lipsticks. Let me explain. As a chemist, I can tell you that different elements have different boiling and melting points. Now, as for the NYX brand lipsticks, I have noticed that these have a very low melting point. You do not need to take these over the flame for very long. Whereas the Wet n Wild has a higher melting point, so it's going to take longer for this to liquefy. The Wet n Wild boiling point is very close to the melting point. So as soon as this melts, it started almost to boil. You need to watch for this. If it starts doing that, you need to take the spoon off the flame immediately. It will continue to melt without the flame. The next one is not as close to the melting point as the Wet n Wild is. So you're pretty safe on that, but if you start seeing tiny little bubbles forming, you need to immediately take the spoon away from the flame. It will continue to melt without the flame. After it has done so for about 5 seconds, you can put it on top of the flame again and continue to move it. If you insist upon keeping it above the flame for the entire time, you're going to wind up with a big black mess at the bottom of your spoon, as you did see. And what is going to happen is you're going to get less product in your jars. Here's the example. As you can see, it is very black here and then it's very light here. So it did boil at one point. I hope this was informative. I'm sorry I sound like a robot. I have allergies, as you can hear. And I will be back soon with another video. I hope this was informative. Have a great day. Black Widow Molly over now. Bye-bye.